Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar on Resco Mobile Sales, are one of the most popular solutions that we actually offer these days. Right now this webinar is being recorded, so everyone is in listen-only mode, but you can of course ask questions using the GoToWebinar tool. This event is normally reoccurring each week, and we have it always on the same day at the same time, but the topics are changing. However, during the Christmas holidays, we will have a short break and we will be back with webinars during the course of January. Each of those webinars that we are actually preparing will be listed on our official website in the events section, and you should register for each of these webinars separately. Right now you can see the list of our sales reps on your screens. So these are your main point of contacts in Resco, and you can reach out to them anytime you need any assistance, have any questions, or want to discuss any of your projects. So today's webinar main topic will be Resco Mobile Sales. The person delivering this webinar is me, Jakub. I have been with Resco for about 4 years, and I'm managing our activities within Southern and Eastern Europe. Just a brief info regarding the agenda today. So we will start with a brief overview of the solution, then we will proceed with demonstration, quick info on our product roadmap, and at the end of the session we can have a look at your questions. So let's start. Our Resco Mobile Sales solution has been on the market for about 10 years now. It's one of our core products, and it's very often used by people who are out there on the go, traveling, visiting sites, visiting clients, collecting some important information regarding their sales activities, and they are using it to really streamline their sales operations. The solution is actually composed of two components that we will have a look at a little bit later. But on the right side of the screen right now, you can see the mobile application. So it's a screenshot from the mobile app. And on the left side, you can actually see the Salesforce automation functionality. So what actually the application does. So it's a simple tool that gives you direct access to your mobile, to your data via a mobile device. So you get a seamless connection to your backend data, whether it's Dynamics or Salesforce, and you are able to manage all sales activities. Yeah, so from lead management, opportunity management, creating quotes, orders, generating mobile reports, or managing your daily activities, the application allows you to save a lot of time going through all of these tasks. As I mentioned, it's composed of two components. First one is the mobile application, Resco Mobile CRM, that many of you already know. And the second one is the Woodford tool, which we use as a customization or configuration tool for the mobile application. So this is actually where you can define entity access, functionality access, and the kind of UI of the main mobile application. It has a very, very wide range of configuration options and settings. And if this tool, which is really, really rich in configuration options, is not enough for you, then you can also embed your own JavaScript code and really make the application, the mobile client, behave the way you want it to behave. So the architecture is quite simple. We have a native integration with the Dynamics backend. It can be also Dynamics 365 backend or Salesforce, and we also offer an API for integration with third-party solution. There is no middleware being used. It's a very fast synchronization process. It's very easy to deploy the application and start using it, because the first time you actually log in, you just use your own CRM credential and you get instant access to your company data. So the mobile app, as you can see on the left side, is natively integrated. As for the Woodford, which you can see on the right side, when you connect Woodford to your or install Woodford to your Dynamics instance, you will find it within settings options. And within settings, you can open it up and you will now have it in the browser version as well available. When you actually make any customizations with using Woodford tool, those are stored in a custom entity on the Dynamics backend. So each time you synchronize the mobile application, the mobile app checks whether there have been any changes for the particular mobile project performed. And then if there are, it will synchronize the application and update those changes. So you can very, very quickly make changes to the app, to the entity access, and deploy those changes across hundreds or thousands of users in just few clicks. When it comes to the supported devices, we support all major platforms. So it's iOS, it's Windows, it's Android devices, also BlackBerry running on Android. So the solution is truly platform agnostic. The mobile app is configured just once, and the same configuration is used for all platforms and devices of users. Mobile projects can be actually customized or configured for different security roles. So these could be different user groups, we can call it. So you can have a different configuration for your sales representatives out there in the field. You can have different customization for your sales managers because they probably work with different data, and a different configuration for your higher managers, for example, CEOs in the company. So the UI basically adapts automatically when it comes to automatical adaptation of screens, formats, aspect ratios, depending on a device, of course. So because it's different for phone, for tablet or browser, our mobile app does that automatically. So you have the right data displayed in the right way every time. So a couple of information regarding why actually customers are so happy with Resco and why they choose our solutions. So first of all, I think the strongest point is the offline mobility that we offer, because we offer true offline functionality, which means that you need absolutely zero connection to the internet to go through your whole sales process, to work with your activities, to manage your sales processes internally. So it's like you were having your own little CRM embedded in your mobile device. And then once you make any changes and you go online, you synchronize the application, and all those changes are transferred automatically to the backend. The second point is configurability of the solution, or its flexibility. So our solution is actually used among many different customer types and many different industries. So from small through medium-sized all the way to the big enterprise clients, and from health, manufacturing, financial services, and lots of other lot of areas where our solution is being utilized. We have very different deployments. So each of those customers has very specific needs, and using our solution, they can truly configure the application, the mobile client, towards their specific requirements. So this is really important if you are talking about companies with hundreds or thousands of users, many of these user groups having very different needs. The third point is the security of the solution. So I think the best proof of security is that our solution is trusted by multiple banks and insurance institutions across the globe nowadays. But we also had the solution kind of security proofed by a UK-based independent security agency called NACC Group. So I think that the proof is good enough that the solution offers encrypted services, and the communication and sharing of the company data is really well secured. We also offer more than 100 plus features, and these are features like integration with Exchange, with Gmail, with Google Drive. These are settings like having option to scan business cards, being able to scan barcodes, or working with interactive maps or route planning. So these are some of the features that really simplify the daily tasks and life of those people out there on the go, visiting clients and traveling to places. So what are actually the benefits for your sales team? So first of all, your salespeople are able to spend less time doing their administration work. They can update customer info and accomplish their tasks right from their phones or tablets or whatever devices they are utilizing while traveling or visiting customers. They can provide the required information to the customers on time, and they can actually finalize these kind of purchases or sales processes quicker. They can solve customers' problem faster, and at the end of the day, they can of course shorten the whole sales cycle. Added value is also that with mobility, users are able to update the CRM data more frequently and easily in real time. So this is actually attributing to the increased data quality. So the ROI is actually achieved thanks to the saved time, reduced steps between the service delivery and the billing, through recognizing difficult tasks and completing them without actually kind of switching between different applications. And it's the automation of the entire selling process. Yeah, so this is what at the end of the day attributes to increased revenue for the whole company. Now I will proceed with the demonstration. So let me just quickly switch between the applications. So during this demo, I will be showing you, let me just minimize this one. I will be showing you an application that is based on Windows. So this is a Windows desktop application. Last time we were having this demo, it was an Android app. So during this demo, I want to show you that the application looks slightly different from what you have seen last time, if any of you visited our webinar last time. So the first option actually, or the first starting point when you install the application is that you are asked, let me just open it up, you are asked to put in your own CRM login credentials. Yeah, so if you already have an existing Dynamics license that is assigned to you in your company, then you simply use the URL of your Dynamics organization, you put in your own username, and you log in using your own CRM password. So this is actually very seamless way how you can start using the application, because once you start the first thing, you run it by clicking on that button. The application will connect to your instance, and it will download all the necessary data into your mobile device to provide you also with the offline access later on. So let's now have a look at what we see here. Typically, a sales personnel start their day with some kind of dashboard where they can follow their KPIs. So right here you can see our recently updated graphical interpretations of data. So we have modified the UI for these graphics. And you can see that here we can see an interpretation of orders. In the lower part, we can see opportunities and their ratings. In the upper right corner, you can see leads in a list view. You can scroll through them and get quick access if necessary. And in the lower part, in the right side, you can actually see an iframe that has been embedded into this dashboard, just to illustrate that iframes can be also utilized. If you need to enable your workforce to have access to some online resources, it's of course possible. If you want to have a closer look at any of those graphical interpretations, for example, orders that we can see up here in the upper left corner, you simply double tap on the upper panel and you get direct full screen access to this interpretation. So if you want to, for example, change how the graph should look like, you can do it straight away in the app. And you can switch between different views that we have pre-customized here. So you can see that the graph will change based on what I choose. So this is for a closer look on your data, which could be interesting if you're following your KPIs every morning and you want to see where you're at the current day, in the current week or month. Probably the most important part is having your access to calendar. In this view, you can see appointments that we have from both the application or from the CRM data that have been scheduled for this particular user, but also the appointments coming from Exchange or from Outlook. Yeah, so these ones in the gray color are coming from Outlook, and the ones in yellow have been scheduled through some scheduling tool in Dynamics, for example. So I can actually have the app integrated with Exchange, and I can have access to both my personal and my work appointments to make sure that when planning or visiting those customers, none of them overlap. Yeah, you can see there is some overlap here, so this could be rescheduled. Some overlap here, so this could be rescheduled. Yeah, on Tuesday, December 17th, there are a couple of problematic points. So if you have this view enabled, you are basically able to predict that such things do not happen. So in this view, you can actually see the whole week, but I can switch between daily agenda view, daily view, and a monthly view if I want to have a quick overview of all my appointments within a specific month. I can also choose to view different kind of activities. So it can be, for example, my service activity, I have none. It can be some tasks that I want to view, I have none. So it's basically possible to configure what you want to see. You can have different types of data displayed in your calendar depending on your preferences. I was speaking here regarding, also I was touching the topic of Exchange integration. So this is possible. It can be enabled in the setup, and you simply enable your Exchange folder. You put in your own URL, and you can get instant access to your email data or your inbox. So you don't really have to switch between different applications and you can manage your mail communication as well as other tasks directly from within the mobile application. So this also contributes to some time savings and actually improves the user adoption. So the next part that I would like to show is just like how you simply can access information on those appointments just by clicking on them. By double tapping on the upper panel, you can bring it to the full screen view. You can see who we are going to visit. You can see some notes added to this appointment. There are none. So I can have some basic information regarding the start time and end time recorded here. I can see the organizer. So this is really quick access to my data. Or I can have another look at this appointment. So there are lots of other entities that you can have also displayed here. It's just a matter of settings. Via Woodford, you can specify what entity access or associated entities you want to see in each of these forms. Probably one of the most popular features out there today is our interactive map. In this particular setting, we are working with the Windows desktop application, as I mentioned. So we are actually displaying the chosen entity types, as you can see, all of them right now, on the Bing Map platform. So this is currently in the Bing Maps. If you are using an Android device, you would be working with Google Maps, and for iOS device, it would be Apple Maps. So it's platform specific, and you can choose what types of entities you want to have displayed. At the moment, we have all of them. Let's say I want to only see my accounts. I can see they are represented by little red pins. If I choose to see also my contacts, little green pins will be added, and so on. You can configure what the entity access here. This is all possible using Woodford tool again. Now the other thing I would like to show you is a route planner. So in your route planner, you have basically the same map layer as we had in the previous view. So it's the Bing Maps, and on the map I can again see all of my pins. I can of course quickly access some info on these pins, or I can add them to my route plan just by clicking on the plus button. I see that for today I have 6 appointments already scheduled, and I have a couple of exclamation marks right next to them, as you can see. So in the right side, I can see those exclamation marks, and if I click on them, the route will be automatically recalculated to optimize it. Yeah, so I have some overlap here, or I'm not in time, I don't have sufficient time in between my meetings, so I can simply click on those exclamation marks and the routes will be recalculated, my meetings rescheduled. Yeah, and if I save this schedule, the changes will be automatically also reflected into my calendar, so I can see my daily view, and there have been some changes, so I have enough time, enough break between each of those meetings. Another thing that you can use this route planner for is, of course, to visit to the next site, or to visit your next customer. And you can basically also use the external application that you have set as the default application for navigation just by clicking on the button in the upper right corner in the upper panel. So this is this kind of a map button. So you click on it and the default navigation application will pop out and calculate my route to the next destination. Yeah? So now you have basically real-time data from the road, and this is the most maybe accurate that you can navigate to your next appointment. All right, so let's go back to the app. I can see now different entity access. So here I have a list view of my accounts. I can see that each of these accounts has an address displayed here and some specifics of that address. This is all fully configurable, so you can define what you want to see on this, what they call view, in this list view. For example, if you are looking at contacts, yeah, you can have emails, emails here and images added here for simple navigation. For accounts, it could be something else that you choose to choose. And now let's have a look at the account info. So right now I have opened up the account. I can see basic information in the upper left corner. I can see the address. I can see my associated contacts in the upper right part. I can see associated activities. I can see the position on the map, associated opportunities, for example, that I can also click through if I want to. So let's open up this one. Yeah, so I have direct access to my opportunity. I see its rating, its specifics, whatever related information there is. And I can also see when there have been any notes added to this particular account, possibly after my last visit. What are the quotes associated to this one? What are the orders that we have received? So you have really all the necessary information as a salesperson just 2 clicks away. For accounts, it's basically the same type of view, so it's the list view. If I click on this button, I will open up the information. I see this is some external contact here. I can open up another one. Again, some external contact. I can see some associated entity accesses here. So this is all really, really simple view, and I can quickly scroll through these accounts, through these contacts, and get information just by tapping on those CRM records. We have added here, as you can see, sales hub. So this last entity here, if you click on it, it's a kind of a sales hub, entity hub, which groups together different types of entities based on your choice. This is configured via Woodford. So here we have added sales entities specifically, because these are the ones that salespeople are typically spending most time with. So I can see, first of all, my leads here. These are displayed in a list view. I can see their rating because we have added these little icons just next to each other on the left side. Yeah, in each of these CRM records, you can see this one is rated as hot. It has a burning fire next to it. This one is rated as cold. It has a little snowflake next to it. And this one is rated as warm. Sorry, this one is rated as warm with this little temperature sign here. I can open up any of these leads. I can scroll through them. So let's say I open up this one, Richard Breedy. Once it opens up, I can see its rating. Yeah, its rating is cold. I can see some additional information regarding this lead. We have added also direct access to some Google data regarding this particular account. So you have the results of the Google search here. This is all customizable, what you want to have there. And in the upper right corner, we can click on this little button here, and it allows us to qualify this lead, disqualify it for many different reasons that we might have, or delete or update the GPS or address, or I can use navigate to button to get to that place and use the navigation to get me there. So let's say I want to qualify this lead. I simply tap on qualify button, and the application directly offers me an option to create account contact opportunity and opens those entities. So let's do all of these steps. I can also choose the currency in which I want to have this opportunity stored. Since we are working within Europe, let's say it's Euro, and let's save this setting or this choice. Now the application will open up these newly created CRM records. Yeah. So first of all, this is a new opportunity connected to this account. I can set its rating. I just visited this client, so I think it's really hot. They are really interested. I can add some products into my opportunity here. Sorry, there was some problem. No worries. Then there is activity option, so I can see some associated activities, or I can record a phone call to this one that I had, or some email communication. It can be all stored here. Then I can see associated quotes, orders, and notes. We will have a look at this in a more detailed view just seconds from now. The second one, I just stored the opportunity by clicking on the save button. The second screen that I see is Richard Breedy. So this is my customer related to latest sports equipment. So this is particular contact. And in this contact, I can see automatic view where we have configured it to show you the LinkedIn information regarding this person. There is none found, but I can also see its position on the map. I can see some associated entities again here in the lower right corner. So this is all configurable. Once I store it, it will automatically close and open up the last CRM record we have recently created, which is the account. And I can see here again all the associated entities. By storing it, I have created 3 new CRM records. So it's been account, contact, and opportunity. And if I click on that lead, I have no longer this option to qualify or disqualify because this one has been finalized. So this is for leads. Now let's have a look at the opportunities. In this view, we have actually added color coding. So we have opportunities with really hot rating, which are displayed in this red color here. Like this one. Then we have ones with orange rating, which have kind of a warm rating, and then the cold opportunities in this white color. So if I click on any of those opportunities, again, a window will pop up with associated products, associated other entities. If I want to, for example, add a product, I click on the plus button, and here we have actually added a really cool feature, which is a barcode scanner. or barcode scanning. So if I want to really search quickly through all of my products here, and I have thousands of them, let's say, I don't have to actually search and use this search button here to find the right product. I can simply scan a barcode there, for example, to really get quick access to that product and add it to my order or to my quote. So if I click on that button, the application will scan it, and I see that it's been added. It's full finger glove of the size S. The price I can see. I click on it and it's automatically added. So now it has been updated, and I have another product, as you can see, added into this one. So that's just a simple view of how, for example, barcode scanning can be utilized. Let's now look at the other thing I can do here. So I can see the list view of Optis, but I can just simply, by double tapping on the upper right corner on this button, this graphical button up here, I can switch this view into graphical interpretation. Yeah, so again, I can see the rating of my opportunities. I can see the value of my hot Optis, my warm Optis, my cold Optis. Just by clicking on it, I can again choose different views. So this is all available just a few clicks away. The next part we will focus at is quotes. So quotes are very often used, of course, when creating your sales proposals. You can see associated products to your quotes again. So it's the same setting, associated entities, everything is fully configurable. You can see the customer to which this quote is related. Yeah, it's mobile outlet right here. You can see some specific details regarding the price lists used or currency of this particular quote. So everything is there stored in the system. Same goes for orders. Again, I can see, if I click on it, I can see specific info. I can see even associated invoice regarding this particular CRM record. So let's click on that invoice, battle cages. I want to see what this invoice was about. Okay, I see which customer bought bikes. Okay, and I can, for example, run a report out of this one, so I can get mobile report directly from the application. So it will generate basically an invoice directly during my meeting with the client if I want to. And this particular invoice can be then stored as a node, or it can be sent via email to this particular client straight away during my meeting. It's taking a little bit more time because I think that we are gathering a lot of data from the system, and also we have a little bit, I think, slower internet connection in this room. But if we allow it a little bit more time, we will have a nicely generated mobile report. These mobile reports are created via mobile report designer that we have added into the application. It used to be in the Woodford. Now we will have it within a settings section in your Dynamics backend. So once this invoice is generated, let's give it a little bit more time. It's taking a little bit more time than usually. Let me check what's happening. Yeah, well, once we have it out, you will see that there are different sections that have been pre-configured. And in those sections, of course, you can define what type of data you want to see. Yeah, so right now we can see who this invoice is being sent to, what is the total amount, what are the shipping details, and exactly what products have been added to this invoice. Yeah, so you can also have digital signature edit if you want to, and you can then send it over for approval or direct it to your customer, or whatever you want to do with it. You can, for example, open it also or print it. If you open it, let me show you. You can open it as a PDF file. Yes, so right now I have it as a PDF file, which can be easily worked with further on. So let's go back. Let's focus on other part that we have here, and that's invoices. So this is again a list view of your invoices. You can see associated entities, so the same, basically the same view as with the other entities, and then list of activities. Yeah, so I can see all of my activities. I can see just my appointments if I want to. I can switch between different views. Yeah, for example, just my phone calls. I haven't been really active, I can see, or just my emails. So this is all possible. You can define your views based on what you prefer. So this was basically the quick overview of all this basic sales functionality that users are typically using out there while visiting their customers. But I want to show you one quick addition that we have recently added to the application. and that's actually a grid view of forms. So let me just set it up quickly. It is set here in this auto grid. So I want to, for example, use two grids when I'm displaying some information regarding CRM records. So I have defined two, I save it, and if I open any of those forms, let's go to the account entity, for example, and open up this account, I can see that this info area, this address area, it has changed. So now I have actually two columns, not just one. So we have added this for a better outlay of information, better outlay of data. So it becomes really more neat in some specific cases. So you can now fully leverage this option to make the application more appealing to your mobile users. And it could potentially also lead to increased user adoption for you and your sales team. I think the last part I want to show you is the setup here. So in the setup directly in the application, you can define your integration points. So it's when it's Google or SharePoint or Exchange or Dropbox or OneDrive or Mapbox or DocuSign, this is all set here. As you can see within the first section, you can define your synchronization settings, so auto sync options. When do I want to actually application to synchronize? Yeah, so these are some settings here. I can play around with some settings with appearance, yeah, and maximum image sizes. So these are some settings we have directly within the application, just 2 clicks away, that could actually help you optimize the performance of the app, optimize, for example, some attachment sizes like you can see here. So it could lead to an really enhanced speed of the navigation through the app for your sales users. Of course, there are way more settings. You can access them via Woodford, which is the configuration tool. And there are lots of options you can play around with, like sync filters, that will at the end of the day help you really optimize the performance of the application for your field teams. So this was the demonstration of the mobile application. You have seen quite like a backbone of the functionality, but of course the application can be completely tailor-made towards the specific needs of your customers, of your teams, and it can be totally changed. The whole outlook, whole functionality, everything is fully customizable. Last part I want to show you, let's go back to my presentation. Last part I want to show you is our mobile sales roadmap. So just some quick info on what you can look forward to, what we will be adding. We are actually continuously enhancing the application, always adding new features, optimizing the performance of the app, optimizing the synchronization options there. So everything is constantly improved. And first of all, I would like to talk a little bit about the web client, which you can see as in progress status. So web client, this is basically the ability to generate web pages from a mobile project. So this means that a web application with same properties or same features and functions as the mobile app will be created with a single publish. Yeah, so using the same definition as a mobile app, and it will be providing you a coherent experience. Yeah, so you will be able to kind of really fast, speedy deploy and greatly expand the possible use cases and scenarios for our solutions. We are heavily involved with this web client, so this is something you can look forward to quite soon. Another part we are currently planning to focus on is the navigation redesign. So there are some navigation mechanisms. These will offer more flexibility, more configurability, while maintaining the adaptability of the feature. Then we are also planning some form improvements and list improvements. For example, some improvements regarding rules, grids, fonts. We will be adding new items like image items, so you will be able to display a picture, or rich text item, allowing you to write like this rich text with, I don't know, bold or italic settings. Another part we are working on or planning to work on is synchronization. So here we are adding OAuth support for SharePoint, and then also authenticated iframe, so that even custom pages are automatically authenticated with your CRM login. So this is something you can also look forward to. And then last but not least, map and route plan improvements, which are planned, and this is especially with regards to private location, geocoding, and some fixed appointments we will be adding. So this was basically quick webinar on Resco Mobile Sales. I will now quickly check if there have been any questions from you recorded. Let me quickly have a look. No, I don't see any. So actually, if you do not have any questions at this point, but you will have any afterwards, anything pops out, let us know. You can see the screen with your sales reps. So as you can see, we have different sales reps for different regions globally, and you can reach out directly to the ones responsible for your area. So thank you very much for your attention. We will be back, as I mentioned, in the course of January, and we will be sharing this information via our marketing channels with all of you. Have a wonderful Christmas and talk to you later. Bye-bye.